Okay, so I'm not gonna talk to chat too much during all this. Okay, so since this is probably going to YouTube, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little intro. So this is an analysis of xSaphy's run, his 2820 in Ratchet 1 NG+. Currently 30th in the world. Pretty respectable time nonetheless, a sub 30, really good. But obviously, as you can see above, there's many places to go, and there's still, you know, plenty of room for improvement and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and take a look at his run. We're gonna analyze it, and we're gonna you know, give him some tips. What can he do better? Since your boy has the 20, so obviously I can visually see the near 8 minutes of mistakes that's in this run. So let's go ahead and see it, and it's right up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute it just so I can like kind of process it a lot better. So I think he resets here. I've already seen like a little bit of it, so here's a reset, which is fine. So I can already tell, because this is one of the things that I don't really like about my current movement guide, and something that a lot of people haven't tried to cover is this thing called the grip. And you'll see what I mean right here, okay? So look at the difference here. So he's gonna go ahead and start his run, and he's gonna do a walloper punch a bit further forward. And the reason he does this is because he does a standing walloper, and he just does two side flips, or one side flip and a hyper strike. He ends the movement there. Whereas if you look at my run, what I do instead is I start from way further back. I do a sliding side flip walloper, and I keep the speed from the very beginning all the way over to this part. You can do it way better than that. I've done it all the way up until this part. You can do it way better than that. But the reason he doesn't do this or isn't able to carry it, as far as I know, is because he's not aware of something called the grip. And learning the grip is not necessary at the level of a 28, but it can actually save you somewhere close to a minute, I'm gonna say, if you know how to do it, because every single walloper nearly requires the grip. And I'm gonna show you what the grip is. I've made a very low effort YouTube video for Checo, who is 5th place right now, because he didn't know how to do the grip either, and he wanted to improve. And nowhere online documented this grip thing. So I'm going to go ahead and show in this video what the grip is, and I'm also gonna, if necessary, I'm gonna pull up the game because I have the game running right here. So this is the grip. So what you do instead of so for normal wallopers, I say at the beginning, so what you probably do is you do this. So after you press the end of a movie, what I assume you do is you watch the movie, you skip it with start, and then you do, right? That's what. Yeah, okay, so in this video I say, what I'm presuming you do is you punch with the walloper, and you play the in-level movie, and you skip it, and then you quickly side flip afterwards. That's not how you do it, because even the little movements, hold on. Even the little movements such as right here, between when you press start, right? So what I'm gonna do here is, this is like the old method. This is the non-good grip. I'm just gonna skip quite far ahead here. Okay, so here we go. So I press the start button, and it unpauses the game. As you can see, Ratchet is standing there for a few frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, it takes a while, and then he side flips. I'm already wasting about 15 to 20 frames of neutral speed, somewhere in the quarter of a second range. Killing most of this neutral speed means that Ratchet will not gain as fast of a chain for everything moving forward. And I know it's quite complicated, but what you actually have to do is you have to do a something. So instead of, the mic's gonna be kind of in the way, so I can't also turn the camera because my webcam's kind of bad. But instead of holding the controller like this, where you pause with the thumb and then you side flip with your thumb and your R1. As you can see, your thumb can't be in two spots at once. It can't be on start and it can't be on X. So what you need to do is you need to do this. You need to use a grip, like a claw grip, which basically means your middle finger goes on R1, your pointer, your index goes on start, and your thumb goes on X. So you can press them all at the same time. on pause, literally on the first frame, and side flip immediately out of the in-level movie, which you can see I do in this video right here. So I show it right here, and I press them all at the same time, and I'm trying to explain it here. Bam! You can see that. And you can see how my side flip speed is insanely good in the game feed here. And that's why I get so good speed. So as you can see, I do it again. Boom. Press them all at the same time. Gain a shit ton of speed. Following this up, he doesn't do a sliding neutral, which I've explained. I think I explained it in my old movement guide, although if I didn't, all you need to know is that as soon as you play an in-level movie, which I'm going to do right here, you hold start on the black screen, which skips the in-level movie immediately. This doesn't work on PS2, but he doesn't need to know this. You hold the start button as you play the movie, and it skips it immediately, which means you get a sliding neutral coming out of the walloper, and that will give you the perfect amount of speed. So that is probably one thing that, you know, as we watch the run and as we watch the video, you'll see that this is insanely necessary to carry a lot of speed, because a lot of about NG Plus is movement. It's all about the movement. And we're going to go ahead and keep watching here. I know it's just the first 11 seconds, but this will cover a lot of the, you know, the newer things. So as you can see, he's losing a lot of speed, and he has to walk over here with no neutral speed whatsoever. And he does that. Right here, you can do a bit of a new thing here. When you side flip up like that, you should input another side flip right there instead of just walking, so you can do a second side flip and stuff like that. So once again here, you can do the exact same claw grip method, but because he doesn't, he gains a little bit less speed, and he has to, you know, do this, and he ends up getting around a 30-second Veldon, whereas I get somewhere in the range of the 20-second Veldons, 20, 21, 22. So quite a lot to make up on Veldon 1 already using this new grip. Not necessary, and it does take a while. You end up replaying the movie quite a bit, but it's important to know. So let's check out Novalis. I'm going to go ahead and take a bite of my banana here. Okay, so he side flips off the platform. Perfectly fine. So one thing he does here is in the air, he actually switches to the Rhino and to the Walloper. Now, we actually have the Rhino and the Walloper selected before the run even starts, which is something you don't have to do here. I guess as a mid-level player, you don't need the Visibomb, but yeah. So right here, he does the exact same thing. Double jumps. He hyper strikes. When you hyper strike, you kill all your speed. And if you use the sliding double jump with the grip, you can carry all your speed into this cutscene, and you can reach that spot way quicker. So that's spot number 3, where he could have saved time using the grip. So this is fine. Okay. One thing here. If you want to make this easier for yourself, when you play the in-level movie, right here what I used to do is I used to do a standing neutral, which means you watch the in-level movie for a little bit instead of skipping it immediately or pre-buffer skipping it. In this cutscene, you can press the triangle button twice, which pulls out the Rhino for you, but he pulls it out here, which might mean he misses the guys, which he did. Yes, so that's what he did. He did miss the dudes. So he has to Visibomb the last guy, losing him maybe 5 to 10 seconds. That's a very important thing to know, because you can't Rhino as late as he did right here. So yeah, that's important to know. Okay, I'm good, Eggs, and hey, FOS. We're just analyzing a run here. So let's take a look at Kerwan, one of the longer planets in the game. Judging by his split, he does actually get the swing shot, I think. Let's see. He's fumbling with his weapons here at the start. I'm going to see exactly. So, yeah, so he's fumbling a bit with the weapons. One of the things I'd recommend is, I don't know if you try to do this, but instead of jumping to the side like that, you actually want to side flip and then switch your weapons if you're trying to line it up. Yeah, you did it right there, but just try to do it a bit more smoothly. Also, you cannot side flip down on slopes. It's possible if you land and then pre-use the side flip. So if you do a jump, a single jump, and then pre-wind the side flip right before you land. So right about here, right as you land like that, you can side flip, but it has to be on a very It has to be on a slope that doesn't go too far down. If it goes too far down, you can't do it. So he tries to land this up. That's, if he side flips to the, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so again, right here, he doesn't have to use 2 PDAs, or in this case more, because of the grip, basically. So yeah, the grip could save him even more time here. So that's the 4th spot you can use the grip in. And here's the 5th spot you can use the grip in. So right here, he does the exact same thing. Side flips. Probably has to use 3 or 4 PDAs. So if you're dropping IJs like that, you're pressing the square button too fast. So yeah, you're pressing the square button too fast, which means the wrench just gets dropped. Right here, you're doing incredibly fast double jumps, which I don't recommend because it means you have to open the PDA more times, which means you pause the game more, you lose more time. I'd recommend spacing out the double jumps a little more. If you, yeah, because you open the PDA quite a few times there. So I'd recommend spacing out the double jumps a bit more. You kind of have to get a feel for when Ratchet can stop double jumping and stuff like that. Gets the helipack, goes for this strat. I do recommend going for this strat because it's easy, even for a beginner. Very nice midair. I don't recommend turning like that, but it worked out. That's kind of just me nitpicking. Yeah, that was fine. That was really good. That was excellent. That midair was really strong too. What I like to do, in case you're ever having issues with bonking on this crate, is punch very early. So already punch at this corner. So you're gonna punch the crate, but you do a standing. So because you punch the crate and you're doing a standing midair, it doesn't matter much. But what I like to do is I like to punch further back, do a sliding neutral, and then I slide into the box and it goes to the right around it, which then gets me the midair so I don't bonk on the thing. Yeah, I am, Ek. I'm analyzing a viewer VOD here. That was pretty good, honestly. Although I don't know, I'm not sure why you mid-aired there. Normally what you do is you do a side flip there. Also, I recommend PDA side flipping from all the way at the bottom. It's faster than doing this. So let's see which version of train skip he goes for. He goes for the Visibomb one, which means he has the Rhino and the Visibomb on the quick select. That was perfectly fine. I do recommend going for that train skip. That's the one you should be using. So good on you. And right here at the end, let's see if he does this. He doesn't. When you're on the very end of the train platform, you want to pull out the decoy and the PDA, so you have it ready for Blarg and Eudora. So you want to have the right weapons out at the correct time. So as you see, you don't need the Tesla anymore. You have the wrong weapon out. Ooh, nice midair. Very good movement. Very, very, very good. I'd take that. That's actually not bad. Like you caught him at the right time. I'm not sure if this is just a mistake of some sort, falling down here. But I would try to go for the sweet spot. This is a neutral long jump. That's totally fine. Yeah, so he saves a minute here from skipping the swing shot, presumably. And okay, so real quick thing. If you ever did he say something about this? I think he just slammed the table or something. Anyway, so what you need to do is once you select the planet, if you miss the split, mash this out so you skip it right here instead of losing an extra second from the ship leaving, and just skip the split. What you can do in live split is you're gonna mess up your gold splits if you don't skip your splits, and if you split in the wrong spots. So it's very important that if you want to keep track of what your best times are, that you split in the correct spots. And if you miss splitting in the correct spots, you skip the split completely. So on Eudora, here we are. Again, wrong weapons out, but he gets the decoy out. He knows he needs the decoy. I am not sure what he's doing here. What? I've never seen this before. What in the fuck? That's neat, but it's slower. I've never seen that before. That's a very interesting clip. So I'll show you something that's much easier than turning the camera all the way around and doing a Ratchet 2 decoy clip. So in my PB, let me show you here. So this is what I do on Eudora. is I get in this corner, I bonk because the world record's optimized. And what I do is, as you can see, there's this line right here. This long line right here. What you want this line to do is you want it to be slightly further than the center of the screen. So let's say this is approximately this is the middle of the screen. So let's just say it's in the very middle of the screen. If you do it in the very middle of the screen, you'll fail the clip and you'll get stuck in the decoy. So you want to push this middle line towards the right end of the screen just a little bit. And if you do it right, which I threw the decoy there, you'll clip instantly like that. And if your movement's good, you can hold into to lieutenant and you can do a little bit of a long jump into it like that. But instead you do this, which I've never seen before. Props to you for getting this, but there's a much easier way of getting it. Nice midair, good stuff. Gets back to the ship just fine. And a gold. Nice job. See, again, I think you golded because you fucked up the Kerwan split. So that might be a fake gold, which is why it's hard to keep track of your best eggs if you split in the incorrect spots. All right, so it's time for Blarg. Probably not a whole lot to cover here except for the clip. Good movement. Indeed, indeed. Let's do this clip. Okay, nice. You still didn't do it the way most people do, and it's because it's precise. So the first thing you want to do is you don't want to side flip up here. The second thing you want to do is you actually don't really want to run against it. So there's a way I can tell whether or not you get it. So yeah, you didn't. There's a few things you didn't do right, but you can still get it even if you kind of crapshoot it like this, which you did. So you looked a little too far right. Yeah. So 1, you side flipped into the thing. 2, you ran against it. 3, you didn't center the camera, and 4, you look too far to the right. So this is how I do it, and this is like if you have problems with this, like if this works for you. Fucking keep doing what you're doing. I'm just saying that it's very precise for me and many other people. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So what I do is I single jump into it and I stop immediately. Ratchet has a little bit of space between him and the door and he's still pushed out a little bit. That's what you want. So I'm waiting for the camera to... So what I do is when I get up there, I tap the L1 button like that. So I wait for the camera to center in. Then I wait a quarter of a second for the camera to pan down a little bit. Hold L1, and then tap a little bit to the right. So L1, look in, tap a little right, throw the decoy, and I'm in instantly. The reason I look down a little bit is because I'm actually holding forward, because I want to go into the wall with full speed. I grab this, and I'll show you that one as well. I don't know if you do that one as well. So yeah, you get it, you grab the infobot, and you load. Loading is very slow. Let's time this. So from grabbing the infobot, 5:32. Yeah, 5:32 to 6 minutes. That's 28 seconds. Then we have on my end where when I grab the infobot, which is 4:26 to 12, so 12 seconds. So I have 12 seconds, and you, what was it? You did 28 and I did 12. So what's that? 16 seconds. That's a very big time loss. 16 seconds is quite big. So I'll teach you about, which is actually quite odd because the clip out is a million times easier than on the way in actually. So props for getting the way in, but the way out is actually very easy as well. So I'll show you exactly what you have to do here. In my PB, I kind of got lucky because I was really trying to gold in my PB, so that's why this example might not be the best one. But there's this line right here, this line, this white line. you essentially want this to be in the middle of the screen. If it's not in the middle of the screen, you'll fail it. And it's not super, like, it's kind of lenient. As long as you practice it, you'll get it every time. So right here, it's not really in the middle of the screen. So as you can see, I try and pan the camera downwards. I get stuck in the decoy a little bit, but I just do it really fast. So it's not the best example, but you basically want that white line to be in the middle of the screen. And then for the pod warp, this is probably the reason you loaded, is because you didn't know how to do pod warp. So what you want to do for pod warp is, as you clip out, you long jump here, and then as you enter this ship, you want to be crossing the line so you see the, basically you want to see the this right here, return to docking bay. Basically you want to see this text. Then you hold L1 as you see that text, and you go to goodies. You play an in-level movie, you're still holding L1, then you press triangle, and then the movie blinks. Once the movie blinks, you let go of everything, and boom bam. You did pod warp successfully. And yeah, there you go. Okay, let's check out Rilgar. I'm not assuming you're gonna go for Cineflips. I'm gonna predict that it's gonna be some sort of small ILJ to a bunch of PDA side flips. So you're going this way. What the fuck? Dude, I'm seeing so many new things. Yeah, so I don't recommend that. That's a very bad strat. I do not recommend doing that at all. So yes, you can ILJ in a lot of spots, but this is not the right one because you're going further away from where you want to go initially. That's not a bad ILJ, but I really recommend going off the boat instead. So yeah, you're just going to PDA side flip all the way up, I'm assuming. The second to fastest strat is kind of in a gray area because it's, I feel like not a whole lot of people know exactly what the second fastest strat is. But that works. You can just PDA side flip all the way up. I do recommend getting a bit closer though, without that specific ILJ, the one you did. And right here, I recommend after you buy the infobot from the bouncer, try and get a little movement chain going so you can do a long jump to a midair. You started walking after you did this, which isn't something sometimes people don't keep it in mind. Is you should just do a midair afterwards. Like you should try and chain together your neutral long jump to get more speed to go off and stuff like that. And right here, you failed the ILJ because the cycle of the boat wasn't tilting downwards, so you fell in the water. I don't think you were paying attention to that, but I also don't recommend ILJing off of this part. I recommend ILJing off of the other part. Yo, Wiffle, thanks for the 4 months, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. The death isn't too much slower, so it's not like too bad. So Rilgar's hard. Don't worry too much about it. It's kind of hard. So yeah. Let's go to Umbris. Okay. So for Planet Umbris, skip the cutscenes. And you jump into the mud from that side, which isn't necessarily something I recommend because yeah, first of all, so you jump into the mud from the front, which first of all is bad because you cut a corner going into the right. Second of all, if you want to do it this way, you need to distance yourself from yourself and the platform perfectly. Because if one of your PDA side flips goes into the platform, the camera fucks with you, which is why you started dropping a bunch of PDA side flips. So yeah. So let's see here. See if you can do shift the boss. Not bad. Not bad. It looked like he can do better as well. Okay, so right here, this is if you ever get this again, you need to start doing something called PDA glide pumping, which is basically when you're gliding here, you want to drop down like here and then reopen the PDA, do a new PDA glide, drop, reopen the PDA, do a new PDA glide. That way you keep more of your speed. When you're falling, you don't actually lose any speed from your PDA glide, but when you're constantly gliding forward like this, you're constantly slowing down. So you actually, yeah, you see you barely made it right there, but you would have made it all the way to the infobot if you did PDA glide pumping. It's something I do in AGB. Miss the PDA death. Yeah, the PDA death is hard to get. I don't blame you for missing that. Alright, so here comes Battaglia. It's a very important part for movement. So yeah, he lost 20 seconds to Sum of Best, so he obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to Umbris. But yeah, just a little tip right there. I'm going to cover that in the movement guide too. I'm going to get the audio on for a second. Okay, so you fumbled a lot with your weapons at the very beginning already. And that's something you need to do on Umbris. Is as you actually enter the ship on Umbris, I actually side flip, pick the Walloper in midair. So during this long jump, I suppose, you pick the Walloper. But you do it at the very beginning and you lose a lot of time trying to get it out. And one quick thing, the Walloper here actually only saves 1 second. So the reason I go for it is because I want every single time save. So fiddling with the Walloper was actually slower in the end than just long jumping forward and starting your chain. Although I do think you should learn the Walloper method because the Walloper method has a consistent set of moves you can do, which is midair side flip, midair PDA glide, and land in midair mountain clip. So you'll get that every time if you practice that. Obviously, it's very hard, so I don't blame you. Okay, so yeah, you fumbled up your midairs a little bit. So yeah, I'd recommend just practicing your midairs a little bit more because you're missing them a little bit. There you go. Now you're getting them. Still not bad. Like, still pretty good movement all around. Nothing too bad. I'm not gonna say anything about that. That was honestly pretty good for your skill level. I can see you've been practicing that. So, ooh, that's really good. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's actually pretty good. Again, no critique here. I respect the attempt for river skip. Again, that's just another thing that just takes a bunch of practice. Doing a Walloper there, I don't know if I agree necessarily. You're not gonna make it up there if you try and do. Yeah, you're not gonna make that. So, the spot I'd recommend Wallopering from is either this platform you grabbed right here, this one right here down at the bottom, or this one, which you didn't do. You did it from this one. So you might not quite make it. Yeah, okay, so. Okay, so yeah. Battaglia just takes a bunch of practice. Also, right here, you need to learn how to do helipack infinite jumps because I haven't seen you use them at all. It's just PDA side flips and double jumps. You want to use helipack infinite jumps because it means you open the PDA the least amount of times. I have that in my movement tutorial. So you don't want to use any PDA side. You want to, as soon as you got this long jump and you started PDA gliding, on this first PDA open, you need to just do helipack infinite jumps all the way over to this guy until you either land on the platform or you go below it and then you can PDA side flip from beneath it because there's no hitbox below it. So that's what I recommend. What's going on, Clovis? Okay, so you picked up the infobot for Gaspar. Again, you can do a little movement chain here. If you want, you can optimize your movement there. But you choose to go for that. That's fair enough. Let's check out Orxon. We're getting to the mid game. Obviously, I'd recommend looking where you're going because you just walked into the ship. The ship has a very big hitbox. I'd recommend. I'm gonna show you the line I take. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but you never know. I'm just gonna show it anyway. So this is the line I take. I put the camera like back here, and you want to like walk along with this tip. And so one thing I do is I like to put the camera from above like that. So that's just, you know, a little thing I do. Let's see how this goes. Do not glide into that. You don't need to do that. And yeah, you don't need to glide into it. I don't know why you're doing that. Also, you don't need to change the camera either for this proxy. Yeah. So you finally got it. You rushed it too much the other times, basically. So what you did right at the end is you want Clank's ears, which is not, they're not really his ears, it's like the side of his mouth, his mouth. You want that to barely be you want that to be disappeared into the pipe, and then you punch, and then you'll get it just fine. There you go. Yo, what's up, username? How you doing, man? Yo, what's up, Shas? Oh, did he do the thing? Yeah, he did the thing. Okay, so on this infobot, you actually want to watch the cutscene. You don't want to skip it immediately. You want to watch it for a little bit, because your movement, Clank's movement is, you can't actually access Clank's movement unless you watch the cutscene for a little bit, which is why you were locked in place right here. And I believe if you miss that, it's actually faster to walk forward, although someone would have to time that. I do believe it's faster to walk forward than dying if you do that. Also, you can cut a bit of a corner. You can get the back part of the ship. Instead of entering here, you can enter back here on this part. So just walk into the corner and you got it there. And yeah, don't forget to skip screen transitions right here. You could have saved another 2 seconds there if you skip the screen transition. A lot of people, when they start out, forget that you can skip them for some reason, but it becomes natural the more you do it. So, you know, it's just a little reminder. All right, so here's Gaspar. I don't blame you if you don't go for the midair here. The midair is kind of hard, but you are going for it. Yeah. The midair is kind of, you need to be really good at it for it to actually save any time. It probably still save time over going the normal way. Okay, so going up here. Very nice. Very nice. I will give you props for that. This is something I see a lot of people not really do very correctly. Is as you have enough height for a PDA side flip, but you're not going to land on the platform. I see a lot of people do another PDA side flip to try and land on the platform. But you chose to glide towards the platform instead. Very nice choice. I see a lot of people mess that sort of thing up. Another thing you can do is you can cancel your PDA side flip by opening the PDA again. That's another thing I see a lot of people not do very, very correctly. So that was really good. Don't recommend long jumping off, though. You want to do something fast, like a single jump or a side flip. Really good Gaspar, though. Very nice. Very, very good. And again, skip your split. And yeah, you lose more time because you missed your split. I'd recommend skipping the split if you miss it. Okay, so Pokecharu. If you super want to optimize your movement, you should do single jump, neutral long jump, side flip. Two neutral long jumps isn't too bad either, but it's the wrong, it's not fast. It's not the fastest, should I say. Yeah, so I don't think he's going to go for the guy warp. He's trying, I think. Yeah, he fell off the boat. I kind of saw that coming. Yeah, so he's just going to clear him. Okay, drone devices to get rid of these two. Only gets one, though. Yeah, so this is very hectic. I don't think you should go for Guy Warp. It only saves about 10 to 15 seconds. I think Guy Warp is something you should start going for once you're at like the level of sub 25 and whatnot. So I don't recommend shooting Visibombs on the thing. I recommend using the Pyrocitor here, by the way. It might not be on your quick select, but I would highly recommend it. The Tesla simply doesn't clear those guys fast enough. The Pyro does the best job. Okay, so he gets on the mirror. I'm skipping ahead a bit because this is kind of an auto-scroller. Okay, so he keeps the missile low, which is good because it reduces the lag. Keeps the missile low. He is aware of this. That's good. Yeah, you can't quite squeeze that through there. There's a very big hurt box there. Hurt box. So tries to shoot another one here. Cool. Clears another one. You can clear them if you want, but if you want to go for Guy Warp, you can. It's just you need to know how to use the Visibomb very properly. It's like it's something you have. It's something that's very boring and like grindy to grind out. He's actually going for the Guy Warp, so that's totally fine. The thing is, you lose a fuck ton of time if you miss the Guy Warp though, and you have to do it very fast to make up for it at all. So right here, you have to kill all the fish and stuff, which probably isn't even going to be faster. So use the Rhino here. See, I recommend using the Devastator here. Yeah, so you're going all the way over here to clear the fish, and then you Visibomb the fish on the boat, which you missed one. Yeah, so this would be slower than Guy Warp. So this is slower than the normal way and the way I do Guy Warp as well. I don't really recommend this way. And you also miss this, yeah. So I would recommend just ditching that and go for the normal way, unless you want to keep practicing that and stuff. I don't recommend it. Another thing I'd really recommend here is instead of long jumping, you do jump thrusts, which means that you can cancel your long jump whenever you want. So I think you bonked on the button because you didn't do it. Well, you kind of like almost missed it for that reason. Okay, I can already tell you're going for the wrong ship. This is one thing I see a lot of people not practicing around the mid 28s, 27, 26 is the wrong ship path. I can't tell you anything other than watch what I do in my PB and learn off of that, because this will probably end up losing you a bunch of time. You need to do the correct Poketaro ship fight. It'll save you a fuck ton of time if you do it right. Okay, still gets through it, you know, fairly decently, but it probably lost maybe 10 seconds from not doing the right order. Okay, so he has the Walloper and he has the PDA out. That's good. Still saved a lot of time, so that's good. It's time for Orxon 2. Interesting to see. Interested to see what he does here. So he's not going for the Walloper at the start. I do respect that. I'm not sure what he's doing here. Is he going to thrust all the way over there? Okay, yeah. No, I do not recommend doing this whatsoever. What you should do, if you're not going to go for the chain, is you should fall all the way down here. You should go down to this platform, break the barrier, and then do movement on the floor to reach the infobot location first. You can watch an old PB of someone that doesn't go for this chain. There's probably someone in the mid 25s that doesn't go for this chain. So I'd recommend looking at their PB, seeing what they do, because this chain is only faster. What you're doing is slower than the chain and is slower than going on the floor. Same thing here. It's faster to go. It's faster to, once you get the spot for that guy, it's faster to land down here and then do a ground pound cancel up to this guy, because you're opening the PDA a billion times. Also, if you actually want to do this, you shouldn't see the you shouldn't use PDA side flip to instant thrust. You should do ground pound cancels instead, because ground pound cancels is the fastest way of moving forward than doing these thrusts. Again, I recommend using jump thrusts here instead of regular long jumps, because you can cancel your long jump whenever you want. You do that by just pressing X and then R1X a bit. So as you can see, you can't control the direction. You almost bonk there because you can't control your direction of the long jump. You can pay attention to my PB and look at what I do. Okay, gets through that just fine. I always pause there as well, so no biggie. Tries to go for the clip. You're holding up left, which, yeah. So you want to hold straight towards the door, and you were holding a little bit to the left, I can tell. You somehow managed the clip anyway. You like switched the angle at the very end, but yeah. You want to hold straight towards the door. Good movement at the end here. Nice. Okay. That's works on 2. That you can definitely work on that one a lot. You can definitely save like an easy 20 seconds here, I think, if you do the right things and if you don't open the PDA as many times as you did. More PDA flips. Do you not go for infinite side flips here? You don't. Okay. You should start doing that because that is very time consuming to do what you're doing right now. This is probably about a 20-second loss, 15-second loss maybe. I'm willing to say this is maybe anywhere, yeah, probably 15 seconds. What you should do is you should do, I'm going to find my AGB PB here. I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to go ahead and find that. AGB, find that, click on this. And this is what I do. Hoven. Here we go. Yeah. So what you should do instead is you should do the infinite side flip, which what you do is you walk off. I hate this shit. What you do is you walk off here. You double jump like so. Fuck off. What are these ads or related videos or whatever? You double jump and then you basically do what I said in the movement guide to get up to the top here. You don't actually need to get to the top. If you want to play it risky, what you can do as well is you can cancel it midway. Like you can infinite side flip here, cancel it midway and fall into the bottom of the turret. So you can fall in from below it. But if you want to play it safe, you can go all the way to the top. So I really don't recommend spamming PDA side flips for that particular section. Yeah, it's actually not very hard at all. I definitely recommend going for this. It's not hard. Since you can do ILJs, I don't know why you would skip out on this one in particular. This one is very easy to do. You're hitting too far. This is fine. You're hitting right. Now you're too far left. This is actually good so far. Too far left though. Too far left. So you're doing the right thing. You're killing the first 3 ships. You shouldn't kill this guy until you get these 2 parts down. Which again, you're too far left here. Okay, so you got them both at the same time, but you were a little too far left for the most part. So you can clear as many guys as you want here. I'd recommend clearing them all at your level. And then as soon as you've cleared them all, you go ham on this thing. So your health is decent enough to go ham on it. Although I maybe would kill one more guy. Yeah, so you killed all of them actually. Yeah, so don't kill as many as you killing right here. So just go ham on it. Is what I recommend. The thing about it is, if you do the infinite side flip method as well, you can use the Rhino strat, which is where you walk into the turret, open the in-level movie while you have the Rhino out, and you don't have to worry about any of these enemies at all, and it only wastes, I think it only wastes 2 or 3 seconds. So that's a very recommendable thing to do too. Okay, so that was very slow. So after you're done, you spent about 12 seconds up on this platform when you really should have just gone down instantly. So since your thruster pack was out and your helipack was not out, you should have actually gone for the ice clip, which is where you jump and you instantly ground pound over the edge here, and you clip through the ice and you end up back at the ship. So you spend a lot of time trying to get the right weapons out. What I really recommend doing is fiddling with the right weapons as you're falling down to the ship. This is one of the hardest menus in the game because you have the PDA out, so you want to select the walloper as you're falling into the ship. So that's one thing I recommend doing. But yeah, also a lot of work to do in Hoven. Definitely, you can save a lot of time on Hoven. So that was a 150 Hoven. I roughly get around 110. So if you get it really well, you can save up to 40 seconds doing that. Same with Orxon 2 as well. You can save 40 seconds if you compare it to my level, I suppose. But don't look towards the full 40 seconds, obviously. Okay, so you're going for the chain. I admire it. Yeah, the thing is, if you're going for the chain, you need to know how to select the weapons in midair. You need to know how to, in midair, you're doing essentially nothing here. You wanna know how to pull out the drone device, pull out the PDA, all in one quick succession, and whatnot. So you're doing this. Yeah, it aimed towards the enemy, so you can't really do that. If you want to do a second walloper, you have to if you want to do a second walloper, you have to do it all the way. You have to jump over the fence, and you have to do it from all the way back at the start. Yo, Tally22, thank you for the 13 months. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so this might bonk. We'll see. Oof, that was close. Yeah. So right here, again, don't PDA side flip. You need to learn how to do infinite jumps instead. Because going forward, you're not... PDA side flips is used for height, not to go forward. So you're going for another walloper here. Again, you can do that in a much better spot. And I think you... Okay, so... Yeah, I think you went for a midair. Because you did it so close to the edge, I think it ate the midair. So I think you may have inputted everything correctly, but you did it in the wrong spot. Therefore, it ate the midair. You can't do midairs too close to any ledge, otherwise it doesn't work. Gemlick's hard. I don't blame you for messing this up a little bit. It's just fine. Don't worry too much about it. That was still just fine. Definitely not as much of a time loss compared to the other planets. Definitely takes a bit of practice on that one, for sure. And again, every single time you walloper, you want to be using the grip as well. So right here, you can also walloper at the very start instead of using it here. And you can also use the grip. So right here, I'm not quite sure why your side flip got eaten. I think you try to input it too fast. You want to wait a little bit for the falling neutral before you can do anything, and then you side flip again. Nice, you landed on the button. That's really cool. Yeah, this menu is really annoying. I don't blame you for messing this one up either. The time it takes between pressing the first start input and then triangle is a bit longer than you normally do for any of the other ones. It's by a few frames. On this elevator, you want to have the Tesla claw and the decoy out. So once you're waiting on this thing, you want to have the correct weapons out. You want to make sure that you have the right weapons out. So you have the walloper. You don't need the walloper in the whole game anymore. So yeah. So I'm interested to see why this split is called the question marks like that. It could be that you just PDA side flip thrust up the what do you call it? Up the slide. So let's see what he does here. So he has the helipack out. Yep, so you turn you want the thruster out, obviously. Which there you go. Yeah, there's an invisible wall there. You have to walk all the way around. He didn't know that, though. Okay, so that's correct. Okay, good. No, he got it. Okay, so one thing I'd recommend when you're stuck in this thing, if you want to get this more easily, I can tell you a way. Once you're in here, just keep holding X and use a claw grip to turn the camera more to the right until your camera is about here. Let me go to my PB again. So you get up here, and you want the camera to be not correctly lined up with the slide, but a little bit to the left. So that usually will make Ratchet jump. And if you want to get the fast thrust, you double jump, you delay it, and then you do a thrust in midair like that, and that's how you get the fast one. But you got up there. I don't think you should try for the fast thrust at all. It's not really anything that's super worth it right now. Okay, does this part really well. Nicely done. That was just fine. Yeah, so right there, another part is if you want the PDA out at the right time, that's during this thrust. Once you're thrusting forward like this and you hit the slide, you can pull out the PDA in mid thrust like that, so you don't have to wait right here before you do anything. so I'm not sure if you meant to double jump, but you're supposed to double jump ground pound cancel first. Right there. Okay, so that's Quartu. Not too bad, not too bad. That was actually really good. That was actually very, very good. So nice job on that. So, first of all, on Drex Fleet, you want to go ahead and... does that say Drex Flood? It does. This actually means... that's like a compliment. That's saying like... It's like saying, hey, handsome guy. That's this word, so that's kind of funny. I didn't know that was fleet in German. So you want to go ahead and thrust through the boxes at first. You want to do a jump thrust through these boxes, land right here and press X to cancel your thrust, and then do a new long jump so you can get this long jump right here all the way over to this part, so you don't have to walk around the boxes. Ooh, I like the side flip. That's good. If that works for you, then that's good. Again, I've mentioned this before. This is not the fastest way of doing this. You want to go ahead and do ground pound cancels instead, because you're opening the PDA a million times here. It's simply too long. It just takes a really long time to do what you're doing. And again, with ground pound cancels, it takes a bit of practice because you have to learn how to space. You have to learn how to space the double jumps into a proper ground pound cancel. So, yeah. I do not recommend doing what you're doing. Because the way I can tell that this is slower is I would be done by now. No, I wouldn't. Not yet. Now I'd be done. Okay. Yeah, that clip is not as bad as everyone seems to make it. So, good thing on that one. You know, that was a good Drex Fleet. The only thing about it is you have to do the right ground pound cancels. You just have to do ground pound cancels instead of doing what you were doing. You probably are going to do the same thing on Velden 2, which is going to lose you probably 20 seconds by not doing ground pound cancels. But again, it's fine. I can see how spacing them out like that would be kind of hard. Yeah, so you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not going to count them, but I either have a visual cue or I count them. That's basically how it is. So I just want to see if you go too high, which, yes, you're too high now. And you did an extra 4 or so PDA side flips. You want to be at the tip of this thing, or maybe even a bit lower than that. At the tip of this rock. So you're way above it right now, and yeah, you're way above the kill zone. So you're just going to go ahead and thrust your way with these to the end. And a little quick tip as well is once this platform down here, once this goes off screen, I got this from Sneepy. So you want to do one more like that, and now you want to glide towards the platform. Yeah, so you're already way above what you need to be. But as soon as that little screw in the platform disappears, that's just fine. Yeah, so see, you're way too high right now. Okay, and you have the deplanetizer up, so you already got that part. 2820, good time. Nice. So, yeah, good stuff, man. I know you're new, and I know you just kind of started out, but I'm always happy when I see new people come in. I always want to try and help them. This is kind of, you know, this is also useful if you're maybe a better player, somewhere around 24, 25. There's probably things from this PB you can take and say, well, Ricky's saying that he should be doing that. Maybe I should be doing that because I'm doing the same mistake and things like that. So you want to... How do you keep the deplanetizer up? What you want to do is you want to go ahead and beat Drek on any save. Then watch the cutscene for about 2 seconds, 1 or 2 seconds. Skip the cutscene. Then the deplanetizer will be up. And then the next time you do an NG Plus run, without turning off the console or without pressing any the button at all, the deplanetizer will be facing up. So you need to just beat Drek, watch the cutscene for 2 seconds, and then load your NG Plus file. And it'll be up for the entirety duration of the game. So yeah, good run, man. Obviously, there's some things you could do. It's mostly your late game, honestly. The thing about NG Plus that's so hard is you're not losing time in one spot, and that's how it always is when I look at NG Plus runs. Is a lot of people tend to look. Whoa, xSaphy! Wow, what the hell? You don't have to do that. Thank you for the $61.99 donation thing. Thanks a bunch. Wait, was it 50? Why does it say 61? Thank you. Holy shit. Oh, it's 50 euros. Thank you, Xaphy. You didn't have to at all. Dude, you did not have to. I'm doing this out of my pleasure. You don't have to donate for it. Thank you, though. Holy shit. Thank you. Good run, man. I'm happy for you. I always want new people to get into the game and stuff like that. I want to help people improve. I want to help people improve with the game and stuff. Again, the problem with NG Plus is if you're around the 30-minute mark, you're probably losing 20 seconds here, 20 seconds there, 20 seconds there. And there's 18 planets. So if you're losing 20 seconds to the record on all of them, that's 5 minutes all of a sudden. You know, that'll add up. And that's mostly what you have here in the end game is stuff like you lose... let me round that up to 13. Yeah, so you lose 40 on Pokitaru, 40 on Orxon 2, 40 on Hoven, 40 on Gemlik, and Ultanis is like 10 seconds. Quartu is like, you know, some like 20 seconds, stuff like that. So it's basically like what I'd recommend you work on is the main thing I'm going to give you an advice on is learn the things you didn't learn before, which is learn how to do ground pound cancels. Learn how to master your ground pound cancels. Learn how to space your double jumps properly out of the PDA. Learn how to do helipack infinite jumps. I have it in my movement guide. I really recommend learning it. It's really not that hard. Learn infinite side flips on Hoven is a big one. I definitely recommend learning that one as well. If you can do ILJs, then there's that. And then obviously take the advice that I said throughout the video that you don't want to do ILJ here, for example. There's an easier Eudora method. You know, Kerwan, I believe I had some things. Try and learn the grip. If you want to push your times even further than what you already know, I'd recommend learning the grip. The grip definitely takes more time than any of the other things I recommended. So save the grip for last, but the grip is one of the ones that'll save you the most time, but it'll be the one that you'll have to work for the most. So that's all, man. And to the people on YouTube, I'm happy to review any of this. You know, as long as the run isn't super lengthy, I can easily review it like this. So yeah, thanks for watching to people on YouTube, and have a nice day. Cool. Yeah, that's all I recommend. I'm not sure exactly. Like, if I do a quick review, it's like Veldon 1, you can learn the grip. Novalis, you can learn the grip, and you should switch to the Rhino in the in-level movie. I said that before. Kerwan, you can learn the grip. Yeah, so grip is very useful for the beginning game. Eudora, you can do a better clip. On Blarg, you shouldn't load the game. On Rilgar, you shouldn't ILJ in the spot that you're doing. And you should be paying more attention to boat cycles when it comes to stuff like that. Umbris was fine except for the first Ghost Ratchet glitch. What's the grip? I covered it at the beginning of this. What do I use to record the times? I use a capture card. A USB 3 HD cap. Battalia is just practice until you can get the movement down. And learn helipack infinite jumps. Don't take practice the Orxon setup a bit more. I have a tutorial somewhere on this. I don't remember why, but yeah. Just remember that Clank's ears have to be in the pipe. Gas Barb was fine, honestly. Maybe not go for the midair at the start unless you get midairs completely down. Pokey, I don't think you should go for the Guy Warp, but you can. It's just the way you did it.